have no use for my headphones this week. It's humid in here, and I don't want my ears sweating. Oh, wait, let me adjust that camera. Hello, everyone. You are once again up front with Frank Rothstein on the City World Radio Network. You were chirping about it just a few minutes ago, but you're up front now. Sitting with me, as always, a woman who walks downstairs without any cares and makes a chinkity sound. Ka-ching, ka-ching. She's a wonderful thing. Everyone knows it's Jade Zabrick. Say hello, Jade. She sings into microphones but can't talk into a phone. There you go. So we got stuff going on around here. How's everyone's week? First, how's everyone's week? And we do have phones open. And letting everyone know, if you want to call in and say hello to me, it's 646-690-2976, 646-690-2976. You know me, I get all those odd-end stories of crap going on in the world, nothing of great importance. Well, actually, it's important to somebody. Someone made a press release about it. So anyway, where to start? And yes, I am playing some music, which, of course, has nothing to do with anything that I'm talking about. As always. What is this? Should we talk about the people I can't stand first? Hello, everybody on Live Me. As I'm populating and all my pals are coming out to say hello. Okay, let's see. Which one here? Let's get this to the people I can't stand the most. Let's get to a real crime. Let's get to something really bad. Because that way we can get it out of the way, even though it's important. This I got from the New York Daily News, and this was dated today. Alaskan teen killed by best friend and 4 teens looking for a $9 million payday. See that? $9 million payday. An Alaskan teenager was killed by her best friend and 4 other teens after they were promised $9 million from an online stranger for proof of killing her. Okay, then. Cynthia C.C. Hoffman, all of 19 years old, disappeared early this month, and her body was found 2 days later on June 4th on a riverbank near a hiking trail outside of Anchorage, Alaska, and that's according to the Washington Post. She suffered a gunshot wound to the back of the head with her hands and feet and mouth bound with duct tape. All righty then. On Friday, authorities said Denali Brenner, 18, who Hoffman reportedly believed to be her best friend, was behind the murder plot, well, because she was promised $9 million from, of course, a stranger on the internet. Yeah, I don't have to go any further with that one. That explains itself. She was promised $9 million, so she got her friends. What it is here is, how did she pick this? Cynthia Cece has a few mental challenges. She had, whatever her deal was, all she wanted was friends. Whatever her mental condition was, whether it's a handicap or a condition or a challenge, whatever word you want to use, all she believed was she had friends. And somehow, saying it in this article anywhere, I'm sort of getting the belief that this was the expendable friend. And for a would-be thing of $9 million, which, of course, you have a better chance of collecting 1% of 1% from somebody, from the Third National Bank Secretary of Defense in the country of Abu Dhabi. You have a better shot of getting that money than you have of $9 million from a guy to watch you kill your friend on the internet. That's story number 1. All right. Let's get to some stupid people, shall we? And we have an abundance of those this week. From the French press agency, it says Indian Houdini drowns after magic act goes wrong. Indian Houdini, okay. Now, Indian police on Monday recovered the body of a magician who drowned while trying to replicate the underwater Houdini-inspired stunt, tying himself up with chains and ropes and being lowered into a river. Is anybody familiar with Harry Houdini? World's greatest escape artist? The stunt that finally got him, due to other complications, was he was shackled and tied and bound and handcuffed and lifted up by his ankles and then lowered into a tank. And he had to escape before he drowned. Now, of course, he always escaped. And, well, the last time was the whole other story, but he escaped usually, except that one time. And this guy figures he was inspired by Houdini, except he did it before, but he was, things went wrong, and the river took him away. And that was it. This poor bastard died. So, let's see. Rescue workers found the body of Chanchal Lahiri late Monday in the Hooghly River. The deputy commissioner of the Port Division of Kolkata Police. Okay, there you go, told the AFP. Well, he was known by his stage name of Jadika Mandrake, another musician, Mandrake the magician, okay. Anyway, he tried a trick he shouldn't have done, and he died. I can't even make it through these stories because some of these people are just so damn stupid. That's why I bring Snapple with me to drink. I don't have any Jack Daniels. If Jade loved me, she'd have a little Jack Daniels here for me. What? What? Do you love me? See, she doesn't love me, and there's no Jack Daniels here. There you go. Okay, let's get to some. I know I'm all over the place here. Okay, here's one. I got this from Unlaid, but it's all over the place. Supermarket uses embarrassing plastic bags so customers will remember to bring their reusable ones. And this was from, the 7th of June, just a few days ago. And one supermarket in Canada, in the city of Vancouver, has gone to an innovative and humorous lengths to ensure that customers think long and hard about their plastic bag use. They've put embarrassing wording on the bags. That's what they've done. And I'll read a few of them. So it says here, one supermarket, let's see. To those who want to get a single plastic bag from the independent grocery store, East West Market, will have to endure some pretty embarrassing slogans, making for the red-faced dash home. Designs bear slogans such as Into the Weird Adult Video Emporium, the Colon Care Co-op, and what else they got here? There's a few others, But they're looking to humiliate you into getting rid of plastic. Everyone thinks they're going to save the planet by getting rid of plastic bags. This one is Dr. Toe's Wart Ointment Wholesale. Okay. And now it's the little plastic bags you may have to bring home. What? So, these are all little dopey stories this week. I really didn't want to get into too many serious ones, and that's why I feel this moment like I feel like playing a song. So, yeah. I am looking at Live Me. I see the chef is out there. I see Zombie is out there. What's this one here? What's my favorite quote from Muffins? Muffins, I don't know. Who else is out there? A few of them. Richie's out there. I see that. Brandon's out there. Okay, I got a crowd building. Anyway, I'm starting off with my favorite singer in the world. We all know it's Raul Malo. And he doesn't always work with one band. He actually worked with a group called Los Straitjackets, and they covered an old 60s song. So here they are from the album Sing Along with Los Straitjackets. It's Black is Black.
Black is black.
was Los Straitjackets. That was Raul Malo singing, and I'm a happy guy. No, I can't play guitar, but I can take good pictures holding a guitar. I can pass, Jay. No, I have silver bracelets on. I have a leather. I can pass. I have a denim jacket. I could do it. Why not? Okay, what else is going on in the world where people should be slapped in the head? Airbus is ready for pilotless jets. Are you? And it says from Le Bourget, France, from the AP, Associated Press. Always sounds so official. The chief salesman for Airbus says his company already has technology to fly passenger planes without pilots at all, and is working on winning over regulators and travelers to the idea. Okay, I'll read a little more. Christian Scherer also said in an interview with the Associated Press on Monday that Airbus hopes to be selling hybrid or electric passenger jets by around 2035. Okay, good. This is not a matter of technology. It's a matter of interaction with the regulators, the perception in the traveling public. Okay. We can introduce it in a large commercial aircraft. That is a matter we are discussing with regulators and customers, but technology-wise, we don't see a hurdle. I do. You ever drive a car on cruise control? You know, you're sitting behind the wheel. You hit that little button, you can take your foot off the gas. Well, that's great, but you're still behind the wheel. Something goes wrong, you can hit the brake. You can grab the wheel. You're still in control. Now, they're looking to take now, they already tried this with cars. You know, driverless cars, and they crashed right away. Now you want to put people in the jet with no pilot. I mean, I hope there's someone there in a test run just to make sure, but no pilot. That means something goes wrong. Oops. Maybe get a little hit by lightning or something, you know, short the whole plane out. This is really, so I don't know, this really, I could see where technology can eliminate certain jobs, but somehow a pilot, let me creak my voice a little more, I don't know. So, that's just one of the dumbest ideas I can imagine. Yeah, here it is. Look at all the crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX, and they had pilots. Do you actually think it's a good idea to have no one there just in case something goes wrong? Maybe something can go wrong. A little wind, a little this, a little bit of bumpy, a little bump. You know, there are no fender benders at 35,000. I got to tell you, doesn't work that way. You can't just open up the cockpit window and say, flight deck window and say, sorry, no exchanging insurance. There's another story. Here's some more people who I have actually very little respect for. The people who take their emotional support animals everywhere. And now the states are cracking down. So, yeah, these are the, some of them are really important. Yeah, some, seeing eye dogs. There's plenty of people, the veterans. There are people who actually need a little help during the day, and they have their animals. They normally have dogs. Now. Okay, let's just get started. And I got this from the New York Times, and this is, what does that say? Wait, one second. Yeah, I'm also looking at Live Me, so I'm balancing audiences. The audience on City World Radio that's not talking to me at all at 646-690-2976. And Live Me, who's typing and I have to read down. I'm going blind in here. Okay, the New York Times. More Americans are saying they need a variety of animals, dogs, ducks, insects, for their mental health. But critics say many are really just want pets that do not merit special status. I can see that because I have to go, flying with my guppy, my little goldfish. I'll take him on a plane, a little bowl. That's what I'm going to do. And then since I'm a battery nut, I'm going to hook up a little fish tank to take with me everywhere I go. And then you're only going to hear, no matter where you sit, as long as you're next to me, you're just going to hear my tank go. And that's what you're going to hear. Little bubbles flying around. That was me, by the way, making that sound. I really don't have a filtration system. Anyway, so it says a 26-year-old Starbucks barista in the suburbs of Tampa known as Vayne, Vayne, not Wayne, Vayne Myers, has suffered from anxiety ever since he was a child. A co-worker suggested he try an emotional support animal. Well, I would be stressed also if my name was Vayne, and probably the kids are smacking the crap out of him. Anyway, so Mr. Myers bought a duck and named it Prima Donna. A snow-white bird had worked wonders for his state of mind. Whenever I felt like I didn't matter in the world, Prima Donna would waddle over and remind me that something does love you. That means when he gets stressed out on those long lines in the store or goes to a restaurant, you get to hear. Probably you trained it to yell Aflac all over the place. And, I'm also looking, and I don't mean just a duck. There's one person with like a pet squirrel. I'm looking at somebody here with a little harness and a pet alligator. Little alligator. Here. I'm not kidding you. See? A pet alligator. Where do you take a pet alligator to? The beach? The lake? So anyway, let's see what else it says here. Okay, but Mr. Myers' landlord objected and demanded proof that Prima Donna was a medical necessity and not simply a pet. Mr. Myers provided a letter from a therapist in California who spoke to him over a video chat, and then another note from a counselor who met him in person, and the duck. Didn't help the landlord, and he threatened eviction. Wait, this is actually a long story. I can't wait. Let me get a little more into this over here, because this is actually about 9 pages. Wait a second. Mr. Myers hired a lawyer and filed a complaint of the housing discrimination with the Department of Housing and Urban Development using his legal name, Jesse Kalfas. Okay, might have used that to begin with. His filing was one of more than 1,000 similar complaints the agency has received nationwide so far this year. Okay, I don't have to go any further, and here's why you can get all these complaints. What determines what an emotional support animal means? Most people go with dogs. Some people have cats. Maybe you got a bird that chirps to you all of that. Maybe you like that. These are household pets that people are accustomed to. What if you like reptilian life, like the alligator? What if you want a giant python in the house? Maybe you want something really poisonous, like a really good poisonous snake, or a scorpion, or something that can get around. And people just want to take them to restaurants, to department stores. You have to fly with them. Not every service dog, not every little calm you down dog on a flight stays calm. They've been known to attack. It's stressful on a plane. It really is. They're in tight quarters. Even if they're in first class, they are in tight quarters. They can't move around. You could be flying for a long time. There's no guarantee that the dog is, 5 hours, a long time not to find a tree. And these are very stressful situations that people put their little service animals in. Now, the little dogs, when you see these little yipping dogs that look at you and go, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." Yeah, well, no one cares because they're little dogs. But sometimes you get these odd-end pets that certainly do not need to be taken in public. I don't know that anybody would need to take a pig in public. I don't know that anyone would need to take if they have a little cow. I don't know what anyone would need for certain dogs, but certainly I don't believe that everybody with a little service pet needs the particular pet they have. I think half of them, let me be blunt, are simply full of shit. Well, it's 9:24. This hour is going pretty fast. Maybe I should play another song. I don't know. I sit there. I went to... Yeah. Let me look over at Live Me for a second. Is Boston John out there? No, you cannot take your cow, Don. Sorry. But you work on a farm. You can go sit in the fields all day and have a picnic. Let's see. What else? Okay, let's play a song. Did we pull one up? Did we pull one? I'm all over the place today. I'm having some fun with all these stories because I don't even want to read them. They're all ridiculous. Let's see. Let's go to song 6. I didn't play song 6 last time. You got it? Playing for Change again. This time they covered Stevie Wonder, Going Around the World, and this is Higher Ground. That was Playing for Change, the organization that makes sure that music is all over the world, especially accessible to children. And some of their work I just absolutely love. Let's see what else is going on. Okay. Well, before I get to some of my more odd stories, I couldn't help but pull off the headline from the New York Post from yesterday. By the way, the New York Post, as of a week ago, is now $2 an issue. Thanks, Post. And now we all know that there was what's his name? I can't. Oh, please! I'm not even going to read his name. Matthew. Screw him. This is the guy who set the rabbi's house on fire. This story was around since it happened, not long ago. He was clearly had it in for Rabbi Max Yemach, and so much so that he tattooed on his arm, in very neat print, I might add, whether he did it or someone else did it, "Never let go of the hatred," in capital letters, "Kill Rabbi Max Yemach." And I kid you not, this is a real tattoo. And this is what he did. And if anyone thinks he hates one, he hates them all. He hates everyone. I don't mean Jews. If he can hate one group, he can hate the other group. He can hate anybody he wants. It comes easy to a piece of crap like this. I wanted to mention that. Short subject on a very old subject. What else is going on? Okay, more to the more likable subjects. A rare Babe Ruth jersey just became the most expensive piece of sports memorabilia ever. And this was from yesterday, and I got this from the New York Daily News. The Sultan of SWAT is now the what? The Maharaja of memorabilia, too. Okay. Unidentified buyer purchased a game-worn Babe Ruth jersey at an auction Saturday for a record-breaking $5.64 million. The winning bid broke the previous record set in 2012 of $4.4 million. Naturally, another Babe Ruth jersey. All right. The live auction was held at Yankee Stadium, which was referred to as the house that Ruth built in its original, let's say, incarnation. Okay. This is a 1920s jersey. It does not have the pinstripes yet. New York Yankees have the most identified uniform in the world. Everyone knows what a Yankee looks like. And this is now the $5.5 million shirt. It is a plain white jersey. I'm not even sure if it was cotton yet. People say, a lot of times when you talk to people about older athletes, from way back when and whatever, keep in mind that at that time, a lot of baseball players not only they may not have the physical abilities due to training, and people have grown and they're bigger and stronger now, but they had to do all these things in daytime games and in wool. So, but this is a New York Yankees $5.6 million shirt. Woo! I have to assume that if you have this, because you can't wear it, where are you going to wear it to? It's not possible. You have to insure it. But maybe you put it on once to say you wore Babe Ruth's shirt, and then you lock it away in a vault somewhere, because this is not something you take out in front of your friends, and certainly you don't leave it near the kids. So anyway, congratulations to the guy spending the money. And wow. What is this? Facebook's new study app pays users for their data. Did you know that? A new app called Study is designed to give Facebook data on what apps participants install, how much time they spend on those apps, and all the other stuff. They're not saying how much they're charging for it, but it is an app where you can get paid to let them know your business. So people in Live Me Land who live on apps, download the app Study. Maybe you can do all this and turn over $1 or $2. Here's my favorite story of the week. before I play another song, because what the hell, it's music related. This comes from NewJersey.com, I think fittingly so, but it comes from a lot of other places also, but I like it on NewJersey.com. And it says here, tired of buying tickets at inflated prices? A bill named for Bruce Springsteen aims to help concert goers. And this is called the Better Oversight of Secondary Sales and Accountability in Concert Ticketing Act, or BOSS Act. I like that. And pretty much your favorite performer is coming to town, and you go online for a minute, tickets go on sale, only to find out the only ones available have already been marked up by brokers, or tacked on extra fees, marked the price unaffordable. And that is true. People should not have to sit there and spend their paycheck to go to a concert. They really shouldn't. The most insane price I ever heard for a ticket that I ever saw whenever I wanted to go see somebody, and I know the Rolling Stones used to get those crazy prices all the time. John Mellencamp was going, we're in New York, so John Mellencamp was coming to town years ago at Radio City Music Hall, and they have the area called the Orchestra Pit. If you watched the Tony Awards last week, you saw that little crescent area by the stage, near the back, whatever, and this is the Orchestra Pit. And for that, you had to pay $10,000 to watch John Mellencamp sing songs. That's insane. There were times you had to pay that for the Rolling Stones also. That's also insane. But yeah, so anyway, this is pretty much an act that will, let me read into it a little bit more and see what it says. This happens too often, the better. Okay, the BOSS Act will require the Federal Trade Commission to set rules governing ticket sellers and those who resell tickets. This was Representative Bill Pascrell Jr. of the 9th District, has proposed the bill in the past and named it the Bruce Springsteen Pascrell. Why am I not reading right again? I'm doing this wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going blind with these lights. Let me do it this way. He has proposed the bill in the past and named it Bruce Springsteen. Okay. And it's pretty much it's just going to let you know what the fees are, the resale rates, all the price attachments that go along with it, so you know what you're getting before you start clicking, just buying, before you call up a ticket agent. Of course, what happens with technology is, okay, they have the pre-sale, the credit card pre-sale, every ticket agent buys it up. Now all of a sudden it's open to the public, and bang, your $60 ticket is now costing you anywhere, depending on the act, from whatever the cheapest seat in the house is to the very front row. Could be. I saw the Mavericks last week, and people were looking for, like, I'll just say $500 to go sit in front of the Beacon Theater. I love the act, but not that much. So I didn't have the greatest. I had good seats. There are no bad seats in the Beacon Theater. But it would have been nice that if I can go for the same amount of money and sit where the hell I wanted, not having to sit there and, like, rent one of my kidneys for a month to go get a ticket for a show. So that's what's going on. Anyway, naming it after Bruce Springsteen as the BOSS Act really works well for me. You want to read that one? No? Okay. Let's play a song, shall we? What'd you pull up? That's a good one. That's a good one. It's 9th. Yeah, I got plenty of time for that one. This is produced by Don and David Was for their album Was Not Was. And this, not their album, that's them, Was Not Was. This was from their 1988 album. I'm sorry, I'm reading bad tonight. What Up Dog. Anyway, this is their song, Shadow and Jimmy.
Trailer park.
That was the Was Brothers, and that was from What Up Dog. That was Shadow and Jimmy. It's a pretty sad story in that song, but I always liked the album. The album itself is excellent, so, I liked it. I found a little thing here from June 7th. I didn't get to read it last week. MIT Technology News. YouTube is deleting videos on Nazi history as part of its hate speech crackdown. Yes, no one's allowed to have anything offensive or hate speech out there of any kind, except, and I saw a lot of comments on this, and I talked to a few people I know. I do not agree with removing Nazi history. For years and years and decades, it was never forget. You cannot wipe out history, and this is not something that should be wiped away. YouTube is the perfect outlet to be able to look it up. Let schools teach about it. There's a reason why we never want to duplicate what Hitler did during his run. And I do not agree that YouTube should be doing their, should remove every last bit of history, especially in this subject. What else is going on? Just letting everyone know that if you'd like to ask me a question, send me a comment, tell me a joke, you can email me, upfrontfrank@gmail.com. upfrontfrank@gmail.com. Also, you're listening to me on City World Radio, but we do appear on Skies Crescent Radio, SKYES, skiescrescentradio.com, which appears to be growing by leaps and bounds. Last week, I personally saw Jade put a shoe stretcher inside the program just to make it a little bit wider, to make more room for more programming. And, yeah, it's a station that's growing, and you can find it primarily on Spreaker.com, but it's also on iHeart, and you have, 20 or 30 other spots? Remind me again. When? Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, all the majors. There you go, all the majors. But actually, yeah, there's a lot of shows on there. There's a lot of good artists on there. There's some conversation going on by people who don't have any problem reading with all this lighting in here like I do. There's a nice little lamp. I may use this next week. Or I may just use one of my flashlights. And that is the story. So let me see. It's 9:45. What else was going on? Yeah, here's a story I found from The Blaze. Hurdler born male but competing as female easily takes NCAA's Women's National Championship. Okay, CC Telfer won the 400-meter hurdles by more than a second. Well, this is, that's the story. Someone identifying as female is competing against the girls. And it says a college hurdler was born male, but has been competing as a female, just became the NCAA Women's National Champion. CC Telfer of Franklin Pierce University won the 400-meter hurdle Saturday night by more than a second, where a personal collegiate best time of 57.53 seconds, and also named to the All-America first team in the 100-meter hurdle. You were saying, you were about to say, you just... What is the article saying? It's reporting it. But if you remember, I mentioned this in the MMA contest. There was a transgender woman in there and fighting a woman. She has something to say. Uh-oh, she's grabbing him. I'm scared. She's grabbing him. Is that thing on before you met me first? Aha, see? I know. Okay.
No, I have to move it before I turn it on so it doesn't make noise.
Make noise, here.
Oh. Well, yeah. Well, first of all, the sports, I don't even think that they should be separated by man and female. But if you're going to separate them, then you cannot allow transgender in the women.
No.
You can't, because men are stronger than women.
Men are stronger, and there's different body mechanics.
Yeah. I just saw this documentary by this high schooler that was a track star, and there's two transgender females competing with her in her races, and they basically win every single match. All the other girls are just basically trying to get third and fourth place.
Yeah, I remember that story, sure.
And I think that's crazy. They should have to be with the boys or just not play at all. I'm sorry, not everybody can do everything, and
Well, Cece is, by the way, formerly known as Craig. The ruling here, the criteria is there has to be a lower testosterone level for at least a year for Craig to become Cece and compete with the girls. The thing about it is, it's a guy. I don't care if he went for his surgery yesterday and he's physically appearing as a woman. It's a guy. Body mechanics, strength, and I do say body mechanics because men and women do not move the same. Men explode for power fast. We just explode for power in a much different way. Actually, outside of, unless it's mixed doubles, men and women don't even compete in billiard, in pool, in shooting pool, or bowling. And
that's weird too. Like,
well, there's a reason.
why?
Again, we explode different with the break in a pool table. We could make not that women can't do it, they could win the match, but we have the advantage if we're breaking. Same thing with bowling. We can throw the ball harder. So there was times where you're just not perfect in the pocket. We can make more action on the pins because we're just, as you said, stronger. It's just different. There's more explosion of power due to testosterone, body mechanics, and anything else. But I was reading a story a couple of months ago in the MMA. This poor woman, she fought this transgender woman and wound up with a fractured skull. And it just does not work, at least not to me. And, yeah, that's just what I think. That's just what I think.
They have to make their own sports or just not compete because
if you're going to make a transgender thing for women, for men who are now becoming women, you're pretty much leaving it as the male competition.
What?
Well, if you have men who are now identifying as women and they're competing against each other, you're essentially
it's still a new.
It would just be a new category, but you still essentially have. Well, how about just having a competition for people who identify as nothing? We didn't check the box. We're neither.
Well, I actually don't really care for the separation in general. Like, I know, like, I'm a woman. I'm, like, all for women. But, like, the sports aren't as good. Like, why don't we just root for whoever can be the best? I'm sorry. Like, I'm not really into women's sports in general.
Women's sports is... Listen, women's tough. Women are
but
tough.
to have to separate them in the first place, like, sports should be about who is the best. And if... I don't know.
That is true. Well,
and
news is
if there's a pool player that can beat a man, then
that is
let
true.
that
That's
happen
great.
too. Let
That's
them all
great. But
be together. Now there's a girl high schooler in football. There's no women's football. Like
there is. There is the Legends Football League, which should be the Lingerie Football League. This is a cheap tactic to make money with former bodybuilders, athletics, women's Olympians, and they all had great bodies. They had their synced up shirts. And they had far less padding than the men would. And once you got by the fact that you're looking at all these hot women on inside of an arena football field, they're tough. They're not like the guys who get hit once and have to get helped off by their two friends. They're tough. And they have hardly any padding on. And they're running into walls and they're tough. It's actually an interesting game to watch. But yeah, listen, I think it's great, but especially in the contact sport, that's just, so I won't forget going back a couple of years ago, Ronda Rousey saying she could beat up, at that time, Floyd Mayweather. No. So, but, it's what it is. Anyway, it's 9:51.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to leave you with one more song. Jade, song 4, please. Because this is a perfectly good way to close. You got it? Okay. This actually comes from the tribute concert to Roy Orbison. Everyone showed up to honor him and play behind him while he played all his big hits. So from 1988, Black and White Night, this is Roy Orbison and Crying. Have a good night, everybody.
I was alright for a while. I could smile for a while. But I saw you last night. You held my hand so tight as you smiled. start me crying. I thought that I was over you, but it's true, so true. I love you even more than I did before. But darling, what can I do? You don't love me, and I'll always be crying over you, crying over you. Yeah, now you're gone, and from this moment on, I'll be crying, 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 crying,
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them, with honest conversation, to let them know what we expect. That's a special